Hello YouTube, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. This is another World of Warships replay on the map Fault Line and Domination mode. It is a Tier 7 battle. Each team does have a carrier, and it looks like, 4 destroyers per side, ranging from Tier 5 to Tier 7. I've really been excited to bring this match to you. I'm calling it the magic of teamwork because pay attention to Rommel Irvine down there, or Rami Irvine. We have a really good run together, and too often these games, these random matches, devolve into a every ship for itself kind of gameplay without really much team interaction at all. So it is a refreshing thing when you can find somebody that's really willing to play with you, and there's some great things that can happen with teamwork. Okay, so I spawn over on the east side of the map with the Mitsuki and the Farragut, Rami Irvine over there. So both destroyers are heading towards sea, so I decide that I want to support them, and I begin heading that way. Now there is an Atlanta on the enemy team, and that's the only ship over there with radar. The Atlanta is a dangerous ship, so always know where the radar is on the enemy team, know what destroyers are out there, and make your plans accordingly. Now on sea, going into this, on this particular map, there isn't a whole lot of cover, and as a light cruiser, you always want to have, or any ship really, but light cruiser, destroyer, you always want to have an exit strategy, someplace where you can go find cover if you start taking heavy fire. And for us on this particular map, we have the island that is just to our port side, and then there's a gap between the two islands that are actually in Sea Point itself. So those are going to be my go-to areas for cover. So heading towards sea, the Atlanta pops up. So we need to be mindful of that. And we have some enemy aircraft heading in. So I'm going to put out a call here for anti-aircraft fire support from our carrier. We're the only, looking at the mini-map, we're the only cap that really has the attention of the carrier at this point. And looking at the mini-map, you can see that the carrier is in close proximity to Sea Point, kind of camping behind that island down there to the south. So the Ahoytnik pops up on the spotting here. I'm going to throw out some shots on him, but as soon as the Atlanta makes an appearance, I'm going to switch over and start laying down fire on that Atlanta. I want to get him killed as quickly as possible. First salvo, we do pick up a Citadel. I'm going to begin laying out fire as our destroyers are being engaged by the enemy carrier, and we do lose the Mitsuki to aircraft torpedoes, or torpedo bombers take him out right at the beginning. The Farragut is still in sea, he's beginning to take Sea Point as we continue to lay down fire on the Atlanta. The Ahoytnik is now in the cap, so you can tell that because the diamond there at sea is no longer turning green. So we know that the Ahoytnik is in the cap. He popped up there momentarily. We threw down some fire on him. The Farragut has taken some heavy damage, but is still in the fight. He has managed to lay down a smoke screen. So we've lost all spotting here. And we know that the Ahoytnik is still in sea. So I am going to leave my smoke screen, head toward the Farragut smoke screen, and see if we can't pick up that Ahoytnik. The Atlanta is still heading outbound. Really don't know what his intentions are at this time. But I want to head down into sea, see if we can assist the Farragut in taking out the Ahoytnik, maybe finish capping sea. We do need to be mindful, though, there's a Fuso that was last spotted heading in this direction. So we want to be in proximity. I'm just laying out a few shots where I thought the Ahoytnik may be. Still under the cover of the Farragut smoke screen there. We are not spotted. So either the Ahoytnik, there he is, he's popping up. So we're going to start laying down fire on the Ahoytnik. Trying to be mindful of where his torpedoes are coming from. Those shells look like they're coming from the Atlanta. Sure enough, the Atlanta pops back up just to the south of the island. So now we're going to start heading in toward this, shots coming in from the Atlanta we have to dodge. We're going to start heading in toward this gap. This is, remember, our exit strategy. Lay down some shots toward the Atlanta. Don't expect those to hit. The Ahoytnik, I really don't know what he did here. He just kind of stopped and started backing up. So we're going to pop Hydro. We don't want to eat any of his torpedoes. We're going to continue to lay down fire. Our anti-aircraft is beginning to open up and shoot down some aircraft. One more salvo should have him, and boom goes the dynamite. Down goes the Ohoynik. So now here comes the Fuso. We're being targeted by two, so the second is going to be the Atlanta there. And we're going to start turning in toward this gap and start taking cover as we continue to take C point. Still under heavy persecution by the enemy aircraft carrier. Really no support. Well, no support. We're getting some support from the Allied fighters, but not a whole lot. Continue to lay down fire on the Atlanta and the Fuso. I'm starting to take some damage here. Going to lay out shots where I think the Fuso may be going to. Just kind of predictive there. And begin to dodge shots while we head into this gap. The Farragut is coming in right behind us. There is a friendly Congo pushing in to give us support, as well as a Julio Cesar that's heading this way as well. So we have plenty of firepower heading into this area. We have enemy New York and Scharnhorst rather, that are supporting over toward B cap, contesting B cap. Friendly Arizona pushing into B. Really not sure that was the smartest thing for him to do because there is a Shiratsuyu in there with him. So now reassessing the situation, got torpedo bombers heading in aft of us. We did get 2 torpedo strikes with 2 floods against the Fuso. That was great. Our anti-aircraft, the anti-aircraft on the British ships is actually pretty good. And we're able to shoot down a couple of those aircraft. Leaves 2 torpedo bombers, no problem dodging those torpedoes whatsoever. Keeping an eye on where the Atlanta is, where he is going, as well as the Fuso. Now we're in this gap with the Farragut. We're going to camp out here for a while and do everything we can to take this point, and or we did take this point rather. We have I have the assisted cap up here. We want to hold this point, keep the Fuso and the Atlanta out of it, do what we can to take these guys down. Start putting out some shots here on the Fuso, who is driving in reverse right now, and as the Atlanta pops up momentarily. So we're taking heavy fire here. Going to begin to pop smoke. We lose detection on the Atlanta. So we're going to start laying down some fire on this Fuso. Consider putting torpedoes out on him, but I don't think we're going to hit anything, so I just pull back into the gap here. So with the friendly Julio Cesar and the Congo, they're able to really keep the Fuso and the Atlanta out of this gap for a while. The Farragut is laying smoke up ahead of us. Just trying to keep an eye on where these bombers are going. Looks like they're engaging the battleships. So there goes the Farragut popping his smoke screen. Now the good thing about the size of the Fiji and the Farragut together kind of worked out where, you know, I can park next to him and just fire across his back, and we're going to begin to engage this New York. He just sent torpedoes against the New York. I considered sending torpedoes, but I didn't want to tort behind the ally. It was a good thing because he started backing up. So we're going to start putting out shots on this New York. This is a pretty good spot that we're in, pretty good place to camp. Again, we're matched up pretty well in size and shell arc that we can really just start hammering the fool out of this New York. We're going to stay in this camp position, keeping one eye on the mini-map though. Looks like the Congo and the Julio Cesar, they're heading out of sea. They're heading away from us. So we're about to lose that support that we had. So we need to keep an eye on that Fuso, keep an eye on that Atlanta. They know that we're still in here, and they may decide to try to rush us. So I'm just going to keep up the fire here. Love that British armor piercing. The angling on the New York, though, for some reason is making it a little bit difficult for me to get penetrations on him. You see, we're having quite a few ricochets and shatters. We're still picking up some good pins, though. As long as I can keep the shots going in on that superstructure, should be okay. Again, keeping an eye out to the rear. Looks like the Ranger is still camping. Now that Ranger, you know, a good carrier pilot can really turn the tide, or a good carrier captain rather, can really turn the tide of a battle. So if I get an opportunity, I decide at this point, you know, if I get an opportunity to shoot that Ranger, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I'm not really a proponent of chasing after a carrier most of the time. But as you can tell, in this whole battle, this carrier has been a thorn in our side. So we're going to take him out any chance we get if we're provided the opportunity. Alright, so Smokescreen is running out. The Atlanta has popped back up. The Fuso has popped back up. Really no other targets to go after at this time. Still shooting out a few aircraft. The Farragut is beginning to back up. We're going to back up with him. My smoke is off cooldown. My intention is to, as we approach this corner, I want to pop smoke again and see if we can't engage this Fuso in Atlanta. It's kind of a dangerous proposition. We have taken some damage, both us and the Farragut. But I believe that, and there we go with the smoke screen, start taking fire from the Atlanta. He fired too close, and look at that, sitting perfectly broadside to us. So I'm going to send out my torpedoes, and I'm going to re-engage him as my guns come off cooldown. He's sitting perfectly broadside, 3 citadels for the devastating strike. Still have torpedoes going out. We're going to engage the Fuso. Our armor piercing should be able to penetrate his bow. So we're going to aim at his bow. 9 penetrations for a healthy chunk of damage. I did kick out my Hydro because the Atlanta has short-range torpedoes. I didn't want to take any of those. Farragut sends out his torpedoes, waiting for the Fuso to come around the corner. Should be able to hammer him with another salvo as the Farragut does damage on him. 5 more into the bow. Down goes the Fuso. Alright, so that's kill number 3. Alright, so reassessing the situation. The Shiratsuyu is taking A cap from us. We are ahead significantly on points, but we do need to take B cap. Alright, so we have the New York in B, we have the Julio Cesar and the Congo that are in the area that can support us. So I decide I'm going to go after this New York. It looks like the Farragut has the same idea in mind. So we're going to come out of C and head to the right of this little island here to kind of keep some island cover going. The Scharnhorst on the enemy side I saw had taken some significant damage. So we have the Scharnhorst and the Shiratsuyu over at A. Friendly Shiratsuyu to the south. Alright, so we're going to come around this corner and begin to engage Sub-Zero jet fighter in his New York. Now if you're in a light cruiser, especially a British cruiser, if you come across or you're spotted, oh, there goes the Ranger. If you come across or you're spotted by a enemy battleship, just expect, and there come the guns turning toward us, we're being targeted by him, just expect that you're going to be the target of opportunity. So I kind of doubt at this range that the Farragut probably is not spotted. We need to turn out and really rethink this strategy, because a salvo from him can really put us out of the game. So I'm going to turn toward the north, try to use this island for cover as much as I can, still put some shots out on him. But seeing that Ranger down there, and the fact that we're still being engaged by the aircraft from him, I decide that I'm going to come around and engage this Ranger. That New York, he's out of the cap. The Farragut is heading that way to take the cap. We have the Congo and the Julio Cesar that are really able to take on that New York. The New York's still taking damage, so I'm not too worried about him at this point. The Shiratsuyu looks like he's putting torpedoes out on him. So, well, no, he's not. Those are carrier drop torpedoes. Again, I really want to take out this carrier. I'm still going to continue to put out shots on the New York as I drive past. The New York's not looking at me anymore. So, still put out some shots on him as I drive past, but that Ranger is now my primary target. Now, I'm considering going through the gap at C again, but I think that that's really going to take my guns out of the fight unnecessarily. All I need to do is get around this point, and I'll be able to fully engage the Ranger. Turn so I can put all my shots out on him. And I'm going to start maneuvering around into position here. 4 penetrations for some damage. Friendly bomber is really engaging that New York over there. There's the Scharnhorst popping back up again. Shiratsuyu has now popped back up to the north. It looks like he's going after our carrier. As the enemy dive bombers start coming in, I'm going to pop smoke just to help protect me from these dive bombers. Start laying down fire. First dive bomber set misses, and now we're under cover of smoke. And I'm really looking for that, that salvo we picked up, high caliber and Confederate. I'm looking for that sweet spot on this carrier so I can pick up some citadels. And the sweet spot is usually at the water line underneath those smokestacks. So I'm going to try to adjust my aim here. 6 penetrations. Adjust the aim. Those actually look pretty good. 1 citadel. Another minor adjustment. Those are right on target. 2 citadels for the kill number 4. Alright. So the Scharnhorst is being engaged by the Farragut, it looks like. And he is just about dead. So that leaves the Shiratsuyu. Now, we have 883 points. We hold 2 caps, and there's only 1 ship left as the Scharnhorst does go down. So I am going to pop my last heal as our carrier calls out for some help here. The Shiratsuyu is definitely targeting him. He knows he can't win. He's about dead. He's just trying to get that last kill on that carrier before he goes out. We have over 900 points to their 399, and he is just out of range. So we're going to head to try to intercept him to keep him from killing our carrier. We don't want him to torp our carrier. And I'm going to tell the carrier here to just keep him spotted. As long as he can keep, there it goes, as long as he can keep his fighters over that Shiratsuyu and I can see him, I can get into position and engage. 949 points. I really don't think we have time enough to kill him, but we're going to try. We're going to put out some shots and see if we can't pick up that Kraken. All right, as we come up to the corner here, we're over 10 kilometers away from the Shiratsuyu. We're really in no danger from his torpedo, but just out of habit, I go ahead and I pop my hydro, just in case. We don't want to eat a torpedo to the face just at the last moment. So go ahead and start putting out some shots in the Shiratsuyu as the carrier drops torpedoes on him. He slows down to dodge the torps, which is going to work out in our favor. 1 penetration on him, another salvo out, and the game ends. All right, we'll see you in post-credits. That was a fun match. Some great teamwork there with the friendly Farragut. Unfortunately, in these pickup groups, if you're not in a division, if you're not doing a clan battle, too many times these pickup group matches, these PuG matches, devolve into a every man for him or herself, kind of free-for-all. And it is really refreshing when you see players that are willing to work together, to contribute to the team, and you see the kind of magic that can happen when that occurs. Me and that Farragut, we did very well together. All right, so for Team Eagle, we got 280 points. We won the battle, we destroyed enemy ships, and we earned a heroic achievement. All right, so taking a look at it, we received 428,528 credits off that match, with 10,093 experience, 7,460 free experience. Let's see, we picked up Devastating Strike, Confederate, and High Caliber. We dealt 154,727 damage, 258 shells on target, with 143 of those being penetrations. We got 2 torpedo strikes, both of them causing floods. Those British cruiser torpedoes, they have a really good flood chance. Shot down 13 aircraft, 1 incapacitation, 4 kills, just missed out on that Kraken. Had 7 citadels, 1 assisted capture, and 6 hits on target with secondaries. The British secondaries are actually pretty good. Taking a look at the leaderboard, we did pick up MVP by a significant margin with 2,523 base experience. The Shiratsuyu, there that survived to the very end, was the MVP on the enemy team. Rami Irvine, man, shout out to you. Great, great job. He came in third on the team. I really couldn't have been successful without his assistance. Looking at the detailed report, we were able to sink the Fuso, the Ranger, the Atlanta, and the Ohoynik. We did significant damage to that New York, well, to both the New Yorks there. And the Shiratsuyu, time saved him. I think we were lining up to take him out. Most of our damage, of course, was done with the main battery of 130,667. Love that British armor piercing. The 2 torpedo strikes that we had accounted for 20,350 damage. Secondary batteries did 990, and we did 2,720 off of floods. We shot down 2 fighters, 6 dive bombers, and 5 torpedo bombers. All right, so we had 469,000 potential damage. Now, if you're not aware of what potential damage is, that is if every shot the enemy fired at you had landed, that is the maximum potential damage you could have taken. So we were pretty well hated. We spotted 9 squadrons, 2 torpedoes, 29 capture points. So altogether, when we lost 5 of our anti-air modules. This captain, in case you were curious, I am running, let's see, I have priority target. I should have probably picked up preventative maintenance, but priority target has been serving me very well, giving me that incoming data. I did pick up faster turret traverse, superintendent, and concealment. I am just a few points away from picking up my 12th point, and those will go into Adrenalin Rush. All right, there's a peek at the credits in XP. Well, folks, thank you for joining me today. I've had a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing you guys in game.